Welcome back, everybody, for the second edition of the Raw Recap, brought to you by Jimmy Bebe, the Drip King, leader of the Drip Foundation. And you know I'm brought to you by Wrestlebuddy. In case you didn't check out last week's episode, you don't know exactly what's happening here. We all know that Raw is 3 hours long. Some of y'all don't got time to deal with it. Some of y'all just don't want to deal with it. So what I'm here to do is to make it as condensed as possible so that you can know what's going on. You'll be in the know, and you don't have to sit there and watch the shows that you don't like. Alright? So we're just going to jump right into it because, again, we're condensing it. So, beginning of the show, this is how we're kicking off. Becky, Bianca, the two biggest stars on the show. I've said myself, I think these are the two people that we're going to build Raw around. And tonight showed, because we opened up with a great video package that promoted the battle between these two heavyweights of the women's division. And then what happened next is they delivered on a match. It was match tonight. Ain't no questions about it. On the Jimmy Bebe match scale, I'm talking 6 out of 5 stars. Oh, that Bebe. It's that good. It was that good. Don't listen to me. Just watch it. It's the theme of the show because the whole show was great. If you're not watching it, I feel bad for you. I appreciate the view, but you're missing a great episode of Raw. And this match, again, was just it just let you know that this was going to be a great show. It went through 2 commercial breaks. We got 3 segments of it, and at not one point was it like, okay, wrap it up, because it was just non-stop. Boom, boom, boom. Becky and Bianca have amazing chemistry, and I said it once, I'll say it again. I could watch them wrestle every week. They're just that good. In the end, Becky used her little tactics, pulled the turnbuckle off, smashed Bianca in. Bam! Bianca gets rolled up, pulls some tights. 1, 2, 3. Bianca's a little bit protected. I know y'all don't like these little goofy wins, but whatever, it is what it is. Bianca was protected. Becky got the win. And now we get to move on from this for a little bit as we jump into Survivor Series, because we're getting that Becky versus Charlotte match with all the extra juicy details from backstage. And I can't wait. But on to the next part of the show. We got a little bit of Austin Theory, Ray Jr. action going on. Obviously, Dominic's still a little salty after what happened last week. Austin Theory got the best of him because he's that damn good. And now here comes Daddy Mysterio to kind of pick up the pieces and try and redeem his son's loss from last week. Well, that's not what happened. Not today. Austin Theory picking up yet another victory over another Mysterio, because that boy is the future. I'm telling you now. Austin Theory is, y'all know, I ain't got to tell you. What basically happens is Austin Theory showed out in this match. It was another great match. So we started off, boom, boom, 2 back-to-back banging matches. This match ended with a little bit of kerfuffle when Ray Jr. was going for the 619. He had the match in the bag. Dominic had to get all up in the business and just go to Austin Theory. Ref heard it, saw it, disqualified. Austin Theory is your winner. Ray and Dominic, they in the ring. Yo, what's deal? More tension building up. We know what that's building up to. It's a very, very slow burn. It's probably a Mania match coming up, but we saw some of that teased a little bit here. After that, we got some Seth Rollins, the Messiah, the Drip God. He comes out to gloat about his victory from last week, as only the Seth Rollins can. But he ends up getting interrupted by Biggie, because we just got a bunch of rude people on the show. Can't let anybody have fun. Can't let anybody talk. Here comes Biggie. Interrupting. Blah, 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 blah. Same thing. Seth. Blah, 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 blah. Then Biggie says, hey, since you got that contract, why don't we just do this thing tonight? Seth says, no thank you. Which then brings out rude boy number 2. Here comes Kevin Owens to interrupt Seth Rollins. KO comes out. I feel good. I did this. The crowd appreciates me. Yada, yada, yada. The same stuff, you expect to hear. It's all good. It's a very good segment. It's just a lot of interruptions. It's kind of a formula we're used to at this point on Raw. KO comes out and says, how about, since Seth don't want to wrestle, you wrestle me, Big E. We've never went one-on-one. Biggie accepts because Biggie is a fighting champion, and that's going to be our main event. Banging match. So you had Becky Bianca, killer. You had Austin Theory, Rey Mysterio Jr., killer. And now you got KO and Biggie in the main event. If you haven't decided to turn on Raw at this point, don't worry, there's more, because that segment's over, sets up the main event, and then what happens next is probably the low segment of the night. Still not a terrible one. You got Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley interrupting Carmella and Queen Zelina in the back. Queen Zelina and Carmella enjoying their little time together, gloating about, oh, I'm the queen, and I'm the most beautiful girl in all wrestling. Rhea Ripley, Nikki Ash do the thing. They bicker, sets up the match. I like it because they're not just throwing a match together, they're showing why the match is happening. I like that. It helps build story. It helps tell a story of what the show is trying to do. And then they can build upon that week by week if that's where they're continuing to take this individual story. And that's what they did here. And they do it again later tonight. And that's what Raw needs more of. Not just this person. Why are they fighting? This is why they're fighting. Okay, now they have beef. Boom. The match itself, nothing special. If you've seen any of the tag team women's division matches, they're kind of all the same. That's not a knock on the women. They're fantastic. Whoever's producing the matches, though, is kind of just, he's a one-trick pony because it's just the same thing over and over again. It ends with Queen Zelina getting another victory with the Code Red after she hits Nikki Ash. So they're keeping the momentum with Zelina, which is good. Our queen needs it. She is, after all, our queen. So it's nice to see she's involved in some stories. And maybe she'll get a little bit of gold from the tag titles. Who knows? But I like that they're not just pushing her to the side. They're giving her some direction and meaning behind that crown that she's toting around. Like yours truly. After that, we got another banging match. Another backstage segment that sets up this match. Just backstage banter. Boom, boom, boom. See you in the ring. Out comes Finn Balor. Out comes Chad Gable. And you guessed it, these two put on a clinic. I don't need to tell you, because it's Finn Balor, who's amazing. It's Chad Gable, who's amazing. You put them in the ring together, and it's gonna be great. Another match. Jimmy Bebe, 5-star match rating scale. I'm gonna go ahead and say 5.5. That's what I'm gonna say. It's that damn good. Give me more Chad Gable, please. Give me more Otis. I think those two are fantastic. The whole thing was fantastic. Finn, Gable, Otis, the whole thing, great. Just go watch it. I'm telling you right now. And then, if that's not enough, our next match is gonna be Dirty Dogs versus Street Profits. Who doesn't want to watch the Street Profits in a tag team match? Them boys is sick. So we get the match, and it's your typical tag team match. We've seen this one a few times over on SmackDown, so it's nothing new, but it's watchable. It's good. It ends with Omos coming out again, distracting the Street Profits. Dirty Dogs pick up the win. Omos attacks him afterwards. The Dirty Dogs, they hightail. They got their win. They're done. They ain't want no part of this Omos monster. The whole time that match was going on, we had Randy Orton, Matt Riddle on commentary, doing the RK Bro thing, just entertaining the masses with their comedy. And then Riddle, when he sees the Street Profits getting beat up, he goes, I gotta do something, Randy. Runs over there. He ends up getting his butt whipped too. Randy's like, when's this boy gonna learn? Then next thing you know, him and Omos start yelling, and then editing kerfuffle. We don't know what happens. Kevin Dunn, you dummy. You done edited it at the wrong time. We wanted to see what happened between those two, and then we didn't get to see it because they edited it to a promo of what was going to happen next, which is just a travesty because Omos was fired up. Randy was fired up. I don't care how many times we've seen it. I want to see Omos catch a RKO, and that you could tell it's just building up. Kevin Dunn, I'll slap you. On to the next part though. Because the video package that come in and edited that part out was a recap of last week between T-Bar and Damian Priest. Match ended in disqualification, so they bring the match back this week. rematch. I'm not mad though, because of disqualification, they decided to make this one a no disqualification. That's called progression. I'm all for it, because Damian Priest is the man, and we all know T-Bar Dijakovic is the man. And if given time, that's going to be a banging match. And that's exactly what we got. I can't even keep count at this point how many matches are just worth your time from this show. I think Bryan Danielson made the comment that AEW has more wrestling in 2 hours than WWE has in 5 hours. WWE heard it because they gave us a Raw that was wrestle heavy. And it was just match after match after match after match that I'll watch again. And then maybe even again, because it's just that good. In the match, it got brutal. You saw at one point Damian Priest wrapped up Dijakovic, T-Bar, whatever you want to call him, kendo sticking him. Bap, bap, bap. He goes to stab him because the kendo stick broke. So he goes to stab him. Damian Priest says, "Not today." Kicks out. Boom, boom. Starts attacking him. Then he goes over, choke slams Dijakovic, T-Bar through the table from the apron to the outside of the ring. Table just explodes. Just poof. And that's all she wrote. Damian Priest rolls back in the ring. Boop, boop. Hit him. 1, 2, 3. Damian Priest retains. All good. Fantastic match. But on top of that, what happens is Apollo Crews comes out with Commander Aziz, lets it know, "I am Apollo Crews, and I am here to take that belt." So now we got Damian Priest's next challenger. There's just no randomness to it. They're actually telling a story. They're starting a story, and it's going from show to show. I love it. I know last Raw was like, this Raw made up for it 10 times over again. And hopefully they continue to ride this momentum onto next week's show, because they're telling stories with it. They're building stuff up, and I love it. Can't wait to see Damian Priest versus Apollo Crews. Another fresh matchup. This is gonna be bonkers. So then after that match, we get Becky promo in the back, just running down the roster, gloating about her victory over Bianca Belair as only Becky knows how. That whole segment ends though with a tease between Becky and Liv Morgan. I know there's a lot of you stands on there like, "Ooh, yeah, Liv Morgan, ooh, you're excited, you're happy." It makes no sense. Liv doesn't win. That's not her fault. It's booking, bad booking. But you can't take bad booking and then just fix it by putting her into a program with Becky Lynch. She gotta earn it. She gotta earn it. Doudrop deserves it more than Liv Morgan does at this point. But maybe it's just a tease further down the road. They'll build Liv Morgan up, hopefully through Survivor Series, and then they'll revisit that afterwards. If that's the case, I'm all for it, because it's a fresh matchup. And yeah, I'm all for it, because I don't hate Liv Morgan. She just needs to be booked better before she's in that situation, or else people just gonna be mad. It doesn't make any sense. And they're right. It wouldn't make any sense. But now we're done with that. We're going to move on to the main event, which, as I said earlier, Biggie versus KO. You can't go wrong. You can't. These two men just put on an absolute clinic in the ring. They give you the match you'd expect to see, because it was good. It was better than good. It was fantastic. The Seth Rollins out on commentary for this match, watching from ringside, just taking in, enjoying the view. And basically what happens is, after a very competitive match, Big E finds himself over on the ropes. Seth Rollins gets up. Bam! Big E flops back in the ring. KO sees this, is like, "Yo, what do I do? That wasn't cool. I don't want to be that guy. Everyone knows me as that guy." But there goes Seth. He knocked out. I'm going for it. He goes to pin Big E. Big E kicks out. Then KO's like, oh. No, scratch that. I done screwed that up. My bad. I'm too excited about it. So KO, Big E kicks out. KO just sits there. Big E wraps him up. Crucifix pin. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Match over. KO's like, "I can't believe I just did that. I done got outsmarted," and that's what happened. And then after the fact, he's like, look, Big E, I'm sorry. I didn't know what happened. My head was hit. I was out of it. I didn't see anything. I'm so sorry. Big E ain't having it. Then KO looks to Seth Rollins and says, "This is your fault. This is what you did. I bet you're happy about yourself, bitch." So it's like, huh? KO says, I challenge you next week. So hopefully that's what we're getting next week, because I don't care how many times I've seen it. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens. I'm tuning in every single time. We're getting that next week, more than likely. Don't see why we wouldn't at this point. But after that, KO goes back to Big E, says, man, I'm telling you, I'm sorry. I didn't know. And then Big E's, picks him up, drops him with the big ending. That's the show. So it ends with Big E saying, I don't care if you apologize to KO. I know how you are. I know how you've been. You turn your back on people, you dirty. So he took him out, big ending. And I feel like all this is just a ploy. It's an engine to get Kevin Owens into a character change. We're gonna go back to heel Kevin Owens, which I'm all for. Please get that man out there hurting people again, and then have him taking the belt off Big E. I say it. That's what we need out of Kevin Owens. So he ain't going. They gave us a nice Mount Rushmore reference in the show too. If you don't know, look it up. I ain't got time. Recap's over. I just saved you 2 hours and 43 minutes instead of watching Raw. But I suggest you go watch it anyway, because it was fantastic. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel of Wrestlebuddy. You can follow me on Twitter at Jimmy Bebe. You can also follow me on Instagram, JimmyBebe_WB. I got a lot of cool, fun stuff on there. And check out our website, Wrestlebuddy, because we're going to do takeaways. We do lists, top 5 lists. We do top 30 lists of fun stuff. We got a bunch of stuff on there that's definitely worth your attention. And then always tune in for the interviews, which you can also catch on Spotify. That's all for this week's show. Thank you for joining me once again. It is me, Jimmy Bebe, the Drip King, leader of the Drip Foundation 2.0. And I will see you next week. Boom.